So I know it's difficult while we're giving an invocation, but try and pay a little bit of attention to what's actually being said about the emotional body in between the decrees as best you can. Or maybe just pay a little bit of attention until you find some idea that has meaning for you, and then contemplate that. You don't have to look at every single verse. Healing the emotional body. In the name of the I am that I am, Jesus Christ, I call to Mother Mary and Archangel Raphael, Elohim, Psychopia, and Virginia, Hilarion, and all healing masters and angels, to envelop and fill my emotional body with your all-penetrating, all-accelerating healing flame that restores everything to the immaculate wholeness for my life stream, making my emotional body the ideal instrument for the fulfillment of my divine plan in this lifetime and for my ascension. I especially call for together. Mother Mary, I am aware that I am a co-creator with a cosmic hierarchy above me. I co-create by using the energy I receive from my I am presence and the ascended masters. I need no energy from this world in order to co-create. For Mother Mary, body-mind, is truly, fully, wholly thine. My body elemental free, has every illness healed by thee. O Mother Mary, you are real, and therefore every wound you heal. In Mother's garden I feel free from all that used to burden me. Mother Mary, I am aware that when I became blinded by the illusion that says I am a separate being, I did not experience the stream of energy from above. Thus I thought I needed energy from this world. O Mother Mary, feelings mine are truly, fully, wholly thine. My feeling body filled with grace, all trauma as it does now erase. O Mother Mary, I let go of all that pulls me from below. Your healing flame is such a grace, all my mistakes it does erase. Mother Mary, I'm aware that this set up a reverse energy flow. My emotional body became an inroad for the energies from the collective consciousness and even from dark forces. O Mother Mary, thinking mind is truly, fully, wholly thine, as my mental body crystal clear, as Mother's presence now here. O Mother Mary, so sublime, uplifting me beyond all time, whatever was still in my past, I feel that it has truly passed. Mother Mary, I'm aware that this means I now have subconscious selves that take in fear-based energies from this world. And this affects both my feelings, my thoughts, and my sense of identity. Mother Mary, I am free, reborn to new identity. In pure awareness, I am whole, as I let go of worldly soul. O Mother Mary, from beyond the earth I need no more respond. In Mother's garden I am free, as in our oneness I will be. Mother Mary, I am willing to have you take me through a systematic process whereby I close and seal my four lower bodies to this reverse energy flow. O Mother Mary, I feel free. Surrender is the master key. All selves I simply can let go, as healing grace you do bestow. O Mother Mary, I'm with you. My mind is one, no longer two. Divisions have no hold in me. My aura is all filled with thee. Mother Mary, to return to the state of innocence, where energy only flows downwards from my I am presence, and there is no energy flowing from this world into my four lower bodies. O Mother Mary, sacred tone, from all past errors does atone. I hear the sound of Mother's bell that sets me free from death and hell. O Mother Mary, I will flow, as I now have the will to grow. In life's own river I transcend, ego I no more defend. Mother Mary, in order to achieve this, I'm willing to look at all subconscious selves that make me see myself as a separate being. make me think my mind has no power over matter, or make me feel like I need something from this world. O Mother Mary, in your grace, you set me free from every trace of fallen beings and their lies. You raise my gaze to lofty skies. O Mother Mary, all is healed, as Mother's vision is revealed. With single eye I do now see that oneness is reality. Mother Mary, I'm willing to see all reactionary patterns that cause me to open my energy field to the lower energies in this world. I want to return to the state where energy only flows outward from my presence, and no energy flows inwards from the world. Mother Mary, show to me, keep me far from thee, and I'll surrender dual lie, and I am free from worldly tie. O Mother Mary, I now see the world is unreality, yet in my core I also feel the conscious me is truly real. Mother Mary, I am willing to have you take me through a systematic process whereby I take command over my sense of identity, my thoughts, and my feelings, so I have dominion over these three bodies and can maintain the natural energy flow from above to below. O Mother Mary, what a sound that emanates from holy ground. My heart in sync with Mother's heart, as nothing will keep us apart. O Mother Mary, I now see that presence mine is truly me, and in that oneness I will be, whole for all eternity. Mother Mary, I'm aware that my separate cells will resist this, because it can only be fed by fear-based energies, whether they come from the world or whether I produce them internally. O Mother Mary, by your grace, in hierarchy I find my place. To co-create, all matter does accelerate. O Mother Mary, vision give. In new awareness I will live. As one with Christ I take my stand. All matter is at my command. Mother Mary, I'm aware that these subconscious selves want me to react to the world in such a way that I either take in fear-based energy or that I produce it myself. O Mother Mary, sacred flow, in life's own river all will grow. The upward path is clear to all who dare to follow in our call. O Mother Mary, a new age, frees human beings from the cage. We see that spirit is informed. Society we will reform. I'm willing to have you take me through a systematic process of becoming aware of my emotional patterns, so I can see that my reactions are based on the illusions created through the veil of separation. O Mother Mary, you are here, filling up the atmosphere. We now command the matter light to manifest our sacred sight. O Mother Mary, I now see, by placing cosmic hierarchy to co-create a better earth, the golden age is given birth. Mother Mary, I'm aware that when I take command over my identity and mental bodies, these two bodies set the parameters for how I react to the world. Thus, my emotions will ideally fall within these parameters. O Mother Mary, body, mind, a truly, fully, wholly thine. My body elemental free, as every illness healed by thee. O Mother Mary, you are real, and therefore every wound you heal. In Mother's garden, I feel free from all that used to burden me. Mother Mary, I'm aware that when I take command over my identity and mental bodies, I can also take command over my emotional body, and thus I can keep it sealed off from any energies from this world. O Mother Mary, feelings mine are truly, fully, wholly thine. My feeling body filled with grace, all traumas it does now erase. O Mother Mary, I let go of all that pulls me from below. Your healing flame is such a grace, all my mistakes it does erase. Mother Mary, hereby take ownership of my identity, mental and emotional bodies, by accepting that Christ is the head of the household. And as the conscious you, I am indeed the Christ in my being. O Mother Mary, thinking mind is truly, fully, wholly thine. My mental body crystal clear, as Mother's presence is now here. O Mother Mary, so sublime, beyond all time, whatever was still in my past, I feel that it has truly passed. Mother Mary, I'm aware that since everything is made out of the Christ consciousness, my conscious you is already the Christ consciousness. But how else could I be aware of myself? O Mother Mary, I am free, reborn to new identity. In pure awareness, I am whole, as I let go of worldly soul. From beyond, to earth I need no more respond. In Mother's garden I am free, as in our wonders I will be. Mother Mary, I'm aware that because I'm already the Christ consciousness, I can let any subconscious self die. And when I do, I am reborn as a new being in Christ. A key. All selves I simply can let go, as healing grace you do bestow. O Mother Mary, I'm with you. My mind is one, no longer two. Divisions have no hold in me. My aura is all filled with thee. Mother Mary, I want to be reborn as a new being who does not react to this world and does not need to take in anything from this world. Instead, I am focused on giving to this world by being the open door for the flow of energy hierarchy. O Mother Mary, sacred tone, from all past errors does atone. I hear the sound of Mother's bell that sets me free from death and hell. O Mother Mary, I will flow, as I now have the will to grow. In life's own river I transcend, as ego I no more defend. Mother Mary, I'm aware that emotions are energy in motion, meaning that my emotional body is always moving. Instead of seeking to stop or calm my emotions, I will redirect my emotions based on the Christ mind. O Mother Mary, in your grace, you set me free from every trace of fallen beings and their lies. You raise my gaze to lofty skies. O Mother Mary, all is healed, as Mother's vision is revealed. With single eye I do now see that oneness is reality. Mother Mary, I am realigning my emotions with the Christ mind, so I can flow with the river of life, instead of being blown hither and yon by the currents in the collective consciousness. O Mother Mary, show to me the selves that keep me far from thee. I now surrender dual lie, and I am free from worldly tie. O Mother Mary, I now see the world is unreality, yet in my core I also feel the conscious me is truly real. Mary, it does not matter to me at all that most people around me are trapped in fear-based emotional patterns. I have a right to keep my emotional body completely sealed off from the mass consciousness or from the emotions of specific people close to me. O Mother Mary, what a sound that emanates from holy ground. My heart in sync with Mother's heart, as nothing will keep us apart. O Mother Mary, I now see that presence mine is truly me, and in that oneness I will be, whole for all eternity. Mother Mary, I hereby claim my right to feel what I want to feel, and not what other people, the mass consciousness, or the fallen beings project that I should feel. O Mother Mary, by your grace, in hierarchy I find my place, as I decide to co-create. All matter does accelerate. O Mother Mary, vision give. In new awareness I will live. As one with Christ I take my stand. All matter is at my command. Mother Mary, I hereby declare my independence from the emotional projections of all beings trapped in duality and separation. Every sacred flow, in life's own river, all will grow. The upward path is clear to all who dare to follow in our call. O Mother Mary, a new age, frees human beings from the cage. We see that spirit is informed. Society we will reform. Mother Mary, I hereby declare my right to let the light of Christ flow through my emotions and to flood my emotional body so I never feel a need to take in any energies or projections from this world. Oh, Mother Mary, you are here, filling up the atmosphere. We now command the matter light to manifest our sacred sight. Oh, Mother Mary, I now see my place in cosmic hierarchy to co-create a better earth. The golden age is given birth. Mother Mary, my emotional body is an open door for the ever-flowing, inexhaustible stream of spiritual energy that flows from the entire cosmic hierarchy into this world. O Mother Mary, body-mind, is truly, fully, wholly thine. My body elemental free, has every illness healed by thee. O Mother Mary, you are real, and therefore every wound you heal. In Mother's garden I feel free from all that used to burden me. Mother Mary, my emotional body is not sealed off from the world. It is simply so filled with the ever-flowing stream of cosmic energy that no lower energies can enter. O Mother Mary, feelings mine are truly, fully, wholly thine. My feeling body filled with grace, all traumas it does now erase. O Mother Mary, I let go of all that pulls me from below. Name is such a grace, all my mistakes it does erase. Mother Mary, I'm aware that there's a certain momentum among spiritual people of wanting to calm the emotions and attain peace of mind. Yet I am not seeking to stop all emotions. I'm letting the higher energies transform the lower energies. O Mother Mary, thinking mind is truly, fully, wholly thine. My mental body crystal clear, as Mother's presence is now here. O Mother Mary, so sublime, uplifting me beyond all time. Whatever was still in my past, I feel that it has truly passed. Mother Mary, I'm aware that higher energies can only flow into my emotional body when I'm not seeking to use them for the purposes of the separate self, but I'm seeking to raise the whole. O Mother Mary, I am free, reborn to new identity. In pure awareness, I am whole, as I let go of worldly soul. O Mother Mary, from beyond, to earth I need no more respond. In Mother's garden, I am free, as in our oneness I will be. I am willing to have you take me through a systematic process of transforming my approach to life. Thereby I shift from focusing on protecting myself from the world to giving to the world. O Mother Mary, I feel free. Surrender is the master key. All selves I simply can let go, as healing grace you do bestow. O Mother Mary, I'm with you. My mind is one, no longer two. Divisions have no hold in me. My aura is all filled with thee. Mother Mary, I'm aware that the cosmic hierarchy has unlimited energy and ideas they want to give to the world, but they need those in embodiment who are willing to be the open doors through which this can be given. O Mother Mary's sacred tone, from all past errors does atone. I hear the sound of Mother's bell that sets me free from death and hell. O Mother Mary, I will flow, will to go. In life on the river, I transcend. As ego, I no more defend. Mother Mary, I'm willing to be an open door for the cosmic hierarchy, to give the gifts that you want to give through me. Thus, I am not seeking to suppress or even calm my emotions. I'm seeking to let the higher energies flow through my emotional body. O Mother Mary, in your grace, you set me free from every trace and their lies. You raise my gaze to lofty skies. O Mother Mary, all is healed, as Mother's vision is revealed. With single eye I do now see that oneness is reality. Mother Mary, have you take me through a systematic process whereby I shift from being focused on protecting myself in order to avoid lower emotions, to where I am focused on being creative and allowing creative emotions to flow through me. O Mother Mary, show to me the selves that keep me far from thee, and I'll surrender dual lie, and I am free from worldly tie. O Mother Mary, I now see The world is unreality, yet in my core I also feel the conscious me is truly real. Mother Mary, I am willing to have you help me experience creative emotions, as opposed to the kind of emotions I have experienced thus far. Oh, Mother Mary, what a sound that emanates from holy ground. With Mother's heart, as nothing will keep us apart. Oh, Mother Mary, I now see that presence mine is truly me, and in that oneness I will be, whole for all eternity. Mother Mary, I am willing to experience that the river of life flows through me, and that the cosmic energies transform all lower energies stored in my identity, mental, and emotional bodies. Oh, Mother Mary, by your grace, in hierarchy I find my place. Co-create, all matter does now accelerate. Oh, Mother Mary, vision give, in new awareness I will live. As one with Christ I take my stand, all matter is at my command. Mother Mary, my emotional body is the open door for the flow of the creative energies of the cosmic hierarchy, transforming my life and transforming life on earth. O Mother Mary, sacred flow, in life's own river all will grow. The upward path is clear to all who dare to follow in our call. O Mother Mary, a new age, frees human beings from the cage. We see that spirit is informed. Society we will reform. Mother Mary, my emotional body is the fountain of youth, where everything becomes new in the bubbling, ceaselessly flowing energies of the Holy Spirit that can transform anything that is apart from the river of life, for it never accepts that any part of life could be apart from the river of life. Oh, Mother Mary, you are here, filling up the atmosphere. We now command the matter light to manifest our sacred sight. O Mother Mary, I now see my place in cosmic hierarchy to co-create a better earth. The golden age is given birth. In the name of the Divine Mother, Mother Mary and Archangel Raphael, for the sealing of myself and all people in my circle of influence, in the creative flow of the Divine Mother, the river of life. I call for the multiplication of my calls by all representatives of the Divine Mother on the perfect figure-8 flow of as above, so below. Thus I accept that this is fully manifest, because the mouth of the Lord, the Divine Mother that I am, has spoken it. Amen. We'll give Padmasambhava's mantra sometimes. Om Om Vajrakudu Padme Siddhi Om 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 Vajrakudu Padme Siddhi Hum. Om Hum. Vajra Guru 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 Padme Siddhi Hum. Now we visualize a Buddha figure sitting with legs folded in a typical position. And we visualize that this Buddha figure is over our heads, and now it descends through our identity, mental, and into the emotional body. So now the conscious you is that Buddha figure sitting in the emotional body. And we do the mudra for touching, but instead of touching the earth, we are touching the emotional body. And we are affirming our right to be the Buddha in the emotional body. Vajra, 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 Vajra. So we need to have our notebooks or notepad. I am the Ascended Master, Mother Mary. And the purpose of this release is to take you into another exercise where we this time examine the emotional body. So I'm asking you to close your eyes, listen to my voice as we now, in our minds, step back and up from the physical body. Actually, we don't even step, we just float. We allow the conscious you to follow its natural pull back towards the I am presence. So we are floating out of the body, above and behind the body, looking down. So as we are exiting the physical body, we are entering the emotional body. And I'm asking you just to take a moment to just observe what is going on in your emotional body right now. Is there a particular feeling you can identify that stands out to you? There may be various activities but is there something that stands out to you? You do not go into the feeling. You just notice. And then, without engaging in the feeling, you are again returning to this awareness that the conscious you is like a balloon that just floats naturally up beyond the emotional body into the mental. And here you are not focusing on anything. You're just continuing to float beyond the mental into the identity realm. And again, you do not focus on anything. You are just floating beyond the identity. And now, instead of focusing anywhere else, you are from this vantage point of floating above the four lower bodies. You are again looking down at your emotional body. And a feeling can be difficult to describe in words. I know that people have given various names to feelings: fear, love, anger, this or that. But a feeling is always more than this. A feeling is a complicated thing, because even though there is a certain energy at the emotional level, there's more to a feeling than just the energy. There's actually more to a feeling than just feeling. Because as we have explained, your three higher bodies, your four lower bodies are connected. So an emotion actually springs from something in the mental mind, which again springs from the overall paradigm set in the identity mind. So you may not be able to put words on a feeling at the emotional level. It will be easier to put words on a feeling at the mental and identity level. So I am asking you to look at the emotional level, identify a feeling, then shift your attention to the mental. See if you can identify some kind of thought. Don't go into it, don't reason about it or analyze it. Just see if you can identify a thought. And then go to the identity level and see if you can identify some deeper sense behind the mental thought. And then what I want to make you aware of is that it doesn't matter what came up here. My purpose is not to get you to go into any particular line of thinking at this point. My purpose is to have you realize that a very big part of what happens in people's emotional bodies is the suppression of emotions. And this is especially true for spiritual people. Whereas we have explained, when you find the spiritual path, it is inevitable that you go into this evaluation of what it means to be a spiritual person in your particular teaching. And so you create this mental image. And you often have a mental image that, as a spiritual person, you shouldn't have certain emotions. So therefore, you now use a spiritual teaching to reinforce the pattern that you have had for a long time. as Cyclopeia explained, of suppressing certain emotions. And what I desire you to see here is that many spiritual people have this sense that there are certain emotions they should not have, and this prevents them from seeing, being willing to acknowledge the cells they have in the emotional body, that you have certain emotions. For you cannot be an embodiment on a planet as difficult as Earth without having certain emotions. And the goal of being a spiritual person is not to suppress those emotions, because as Cyclopeia again explained, this only causes the energies to accumulate until they spill over and begin to affect the physical cells, creating disease. Of course, they also warp your emotional body. And so, if you are a real spiritual person who is sincerely walking the path, and you are willing to look at your own psychology, there comes a point where you need to look at your emotional body and identify the feelings you have been suppressing. And the purpose of this is not to, of course, feel guilty that you have these feelings, but to realize that you are not having the feeling. It's a subconscious self that's having the feeling. And that subconscious self is a focal point in your emotional body for the same type of energies coming from the collective emotional body, or even dark forces or other people. So it's the vulnerability for you. But the only way to overcome it is to acknowledge the emotions, because you do not free yourself from these subconscious cells by suppressing the emotions. This doesn't mean you have to go into them and be lost in them or absorbed in them, but you have to acknowledge. And in order to do this, as Cyclopeia was so carefully explaining, you need to consider this scale, this standard for right and wrong. There are no wrong emotions. There are no wrong emotions. They are only emotions. It's only energy. You know that red light vibrates at a lower frequency than violet light. But red light is just red light. It's not wrong. It's not worse or better than violet light. It's just a color. There are no wrong emotions. So you don't need to be afraid to look and see something you have suppressed. I know this is somewhat of a catch-22, because why did you start to suppress a feeling? Partly because it was unpleasant, but also because, as Cyclopeia again explained, you have some structure in the mental and identity level that makes you feel you should not have that emotion. So, how do you cut the Gordian knot and resolve this enigma? Well, this is what I hope to help you achieve here as we move on with this exercise. So again, you are the conscious you. You are aware that you are not the physical body, so you float above it into the emotional body. You are aware that you are not the emotional body. You float above it into the mental. You are aware that you are not the mental body. You float above it into the identity. You are aware that you are not even the identity body. So you float above it. And now I am asking you to take your pen and paper and you are, metaphorically speaking, looking down upon your three bodies, emotional, mental, identity. It is not a specific body you need to look at. It may be the feeling you identified earlier, but I'm asking you to just look, and then when I stop my countdown, I'm asking you to write whatever comes to you. Again, don't analyze, don't think. Just write whatever comes to you. There is nothing right or wrong here, but the purpose is, of course, to help you identify some feeling you have suppressed and why you have done so. So do not try to hide anything. Do not try to evaluate what you should or shouldn't be feeling, because this will prevent you from getting the benefit of the exercise. You are just the conscious you, looking. You are just looking. You're not evaluating what should or shouldn't be happening. You are just looking. So I will count down, and when I say write, you write whatever comes. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, 1/32, 1/64. Right. Now stop writing, even if you are not done. Don't read it now. Put aside your notepad so you can reach it if we need it again. You can always go over it later. So now we will continue with the exercise. And because you have now been engaged in writing, which is a physical activity, we will again start at the physical level. You become aware you are not the physical body. You are the conscious you, and you naturally float out of the body, up and a little bit back. And then you become aware that now you are not in the physical body, you are in the emotional body. So you tie into this feeling that you identified. Just tie into the feeling. Don't go into it. Don't let it color you. You're just identifying that feeling. Now you again become aware that you are not your feelings. You are the conscious you. So you float out of the emotional body into the mental. And now you look at what is the mental construct that gave rise to the feeling you just identified. Is there some belief, some idea? Again, you don't go into it. You don't let it color you. You don't argue for or against it. You just identify it. You're seeing it from the outside. And now you become aware again, I am the conscious you. I am not my mental body, not my thoughts. And you float up and back from the mental body. And now you're at the identity level. And now again, you just look neutrally. Is there some construct in the identity body that ties in with what you identified at the emotional level and at the mental level, that set the parameters for this way of thinking about yourself that caused that feeling and a belief in the mental? Again, you don't go into it, you don't argue about it, you don't evaluate whether it's right or wrong, good or bad. It's no reason to judge it, you just identify it. And then again, you become aware, I am not my identity. I'm not the contents of my identity body. I am more. And so you float up out of the mental body, the identity body. And where are you now? What is outside your four lower bodies? It's not empty space. It's not nothingness. Yes, we have called it pure awareness, but there's something in that awareness. There's a structure. And what is that structure? Is it not your I am presence? For what is beyond the four lower bodies but your I am presence? And so the conscious you has floated out of the four lower bodies and up, and there is your I am presence. So now you are again looking back at what you identified at the emotional, mental, and identity level. You just identify it. You're looking at it from a distance. And now you, metaphorically speaking, turn around towards your I am presence. You don't visualize it in any particular way, no images. And then you just send the question. How do you look at this? This structure in the emotional, mental, identity levels. How do you look at this? And now just sit quietly. Tune into your presence and see if you can sense how the presence looks at this. Now you focus on the feeling that you identified. And you formulate the question, how do you feel? Tune in and see if you can experience how your I am present feels. And now you tune in to the mental and some belief, some thought relating to the feeling. And then again, what do you think about this? Tune in and see what comes to you. And now you tune in draw your attention to the identity mind and what is there, what you identify. And now you turn to your presence and ask, how do you see this? How do you look at this? And see what comes. If nothing comes, that's fine. But can you not sense that your I am presence isn't inside your identity body? The conscious you can go inside the identity body, but the I am presence can't. So when the conscious you attempts to see what is in the identity body, as soon as you identify something, you tend to go into it. But the I am presence doesn't. It can't go into it. That's why it sent the conscious you. And it can't go into the mental mind, and it can't go into the feeling body. So your I am presence is not experiencing what you are experiencing from the inside. It's experiencing it from the outside. Can you not sense that it has a very different perspective than the conscious you has when you see things from the inside? You might get a sense that when you tune into your presence, it's almost like you are looking at Earth from somewhere far out in space, far beyond the solar system. And all around you are all these galaxies, vast, immense space. And way, way down there is planet Earth and your four lower bodies. And from that vantage point of this immensity of space, how important was that feeling you identified? How important are those thoughts and beliefs? How important is that sense of identity? Compared to this vast cosmic space, how important is it what's going on down there on that little planet? And this is how your I am presence looks at what's going on in your life. It suddenly dawns on you that what seems so important to the conscious you doesn't seem that important to the I am presence. Now be careful. Doesn't mean your I am presence doesn't care about you. But because it has a different perspective, it just isn't so important. It's like when you're looking back at yourself when you were a child. And it meant so much to you when your sister or brother wouldn't share a toy with you. And you think back today as an adult, how important was that situation to you now? And that's how the I am presence looks at it. And so when you connect to that perspective, can you not then, from that vantage point that you are tuned into, look back at your identity, mental, and emotional bodies and suddenly see that, or perhaps those feelings, thoughts, and that sense of identity are not nearly as important to me now as they seemed before. Does that not mean I don't have to be afraid to look at my feelings, to acknowledge them, to look at the thoughts behind them and the sense of identity, and just identify, this didn't come from my I am presence. This identity, these thoughts, These feelings did not come from my I am presence, but I came from my I am presence. Which means this identity, this thought, this emotion didn't come from me. I just took it on. It didn't come from me. I have not become it by taking it on. It's like taking on the costume in a theater and the makeup. But I haven't become that person. I only played the role to see what it was like to play that role. My I am presence experienced through me what it was like to play the role. But it experienced it from the outside, and therefore it knew it hadn't become the role. It also knew that the conscious you had not become the role. Now, I was inside, so it felt as if I had become that role. But that was part of the experience I was meant to have. The experience was meant to seem real to me from the inside. But now that I have had enough of that experience, how do I get out of being inside the role? By reconnecting to my I am presence and realize that because my I am presence never became the role, and because the role didn't come from my I am presence, and because I came from my I am presence, I did not become the role either. So I can just let it go. Now, when you tune into this still from the level of the I am presence, you might identify that there is now some stirring in your emotional, mental, and identity bodies. Feelings, thoughts may come up. You can't just walk away from the role, because the role defines a goal that must be reached, a problem that must be solved. And until you have solved the problem, you can't walk away from the role. You don't go into this. You just identify it. And then you again tune into your presence. How do you look at this? And again, you see that you experience you are out there in this vast cosmic space. You're looking way, way down. There is the sun. There are some little dots circling around the sun. It's blue. It must be Earth. You can barely see it. And somewhere on that planet, there's this physical body, this emotional body, this mental body, this identity body. But you can barely connect to them. You can barely see them. They seem so small compared to this cosmic space. And you realize that these projections that you can't leave the role behind mean nothing to your I am presence. Nothing whatsoever. And so you realize these projections didn't come from your I am presence. Your I am presence hasn't become the role, hasn't become the sense that you can't just leave the role. Your I am presence doesn't actually believe that there's a problem you have to solve or a goal you have to reach on Earth. So all of this didn't come from the presence. But you came from the presence. So that means that if all of this here on Earth didn't come from the presence, it didn't come from you either. So, do you, the conscious you, have to solve any problem or reach any goal before you can leave the role behind? Nay. Why would you? There may be a problem on earth. There are many problems on earth. But they only seem important when you're inside the role. And it's only from inside the role, it seems like you have to solve them. But from the perspective of the I Am Presence, you see that you don't have to solve the problem before you can leave the role. You can leave the role when you have had enough of experiencing life from inside the role. So now you again tune into your presence. And what I'm going to say here may not feel like it's coming from your presence, because you are hearing these words that are coming from outside yourself. But I am in attunement with your presence, and therefore I speak what the presence would like to say to you in words. When you, the conscious you, descends into embodiment on earth, you are gradually descending from the 144th to the 48th level. You are taking on all of these cells. You are creating cells in the identity, in the mental, and the emotional. And this becomes the first role you play on earth. Again, as we have explained, nothing wrong with it. It's part of experiencing life in an undescended sphere. You are having an experience at the level of the conscious you. You are inside of it, but you are an extension of your I Am Presence. So when you are new in the role, your I Am Presence actually tunes into the conscious you and experiences exactly what the conscious you is experiencing. You are experiencing the role from inside. The I Am Presence is experiencing it as if it was inside. And it is, because the I Am Presence is the conscious you, just not the totality of the conscious you. So through the experience of the conscious you, the I Am Presence is having that experience of being inside the undescended sphere. This is what part of what the I Am Presence wanted to experience. Now, the only difference is that the I Am Presence will, after a time, shift out of the role. Look at it from its perspective, way out there in cosmic space, and process the experience. And it uses that experience to expand its sense of self, to refine its sense of self. And after having processed it, the I Am Presence may project itself back in attunement with the conscious you, and again experience whatever the conscious you is going through now, because naturally the experience you are having will change constantly. But whatever your experience is here on earth, it's valuable to the I Am Presence. But the I Am Presence steps out of the experience, processes it, and therefore refines its sense of self. But because of the nature of the density of this realm, you, the conscious you, are not aware of what is happening at the level of the I Am Presence. So you are having your own experience. You are also building onto your sense of self, perhaps expanding it, perhaps contracting it, perhaps becoming more or less identified with it. So the next time the conscious you projects itself into you or in attunement with you, you are having a different experience. This is also valuable to your I Am Presence. So now the presence experiences this, withdraws, processes the experience. So now it may be that the conscious you, because of all that is happening on earth, you go into separation. You are losing the sense that you are a connected being. You see yourself as a separate being, and now you have stepped into a different kind of role as a separate being. But you are still having experiences. And you are, of course, still the conscious you that is an extension of the I am presence. So the I am presence can tune into the conscious you and experience what the conscious you is experiencing through that dualistic role, through that filter of duality and separation. And at the level of the I am presence, this cosmic perspective, there's nothing wrong on earth. It's just an experience that's possible on earth. The conscious you is not the I am presence is not evaluating at all whether the experience the conscious you is having is right or wrong. It's just experiencing, and then it focuses on its totality again and now processes the experience and expands its sense of self. The conscious you, of course, is trapped in separation. So you cannot stand still either, so you are contracting your sense of self. So the next time the I am presence tunes into you, you may have a lower state of consciousness, much more self-focused. The I am presence doesn't say this is right or wrong. It just says, a new experience. Let me experience that. And then it experiences it for a time, and then it feels, now I've had enough of the experience, I'm ready to process. So again, it withdraws, processes, expands its sense of self. Do you see what I'm saying? Whatever experience you are having on earth, the I am presence looks at it as just another experience that it can use, that it can process and use to expand its sense of self. But of course, once you go into separation, because of the density, in separation, you cannot process your experience. At least not the same way the presence does, because you can't step outside of it. So you, the conscious you, is unaware of what's happening at the level of the I am presence. You are caught in the role, you are identified with the role, and your only option is to make the role, to outplay it in more and more extreme ways. You cannot just, like the I am presence, say, I've had enough of this experience, it's time to process it. You must act it out in such an extreme way until you say, most likely, I can't do this anymore. I can't live this way anymore. You can't just say, oh, I've had enough of this experiment. Let me step back and process. Because you think there's something you have to do, there's a problem you have to solve, or perhaps you think you have made such a mistake you can never be free of it. You can't just step back. So the conscious you has to go into more and more extremes until you come to that breaking point, turning point, where now you decide you cannot keep going in that direction. Most people, when they come to this point, they start going in another direction that's also in duality. And you may have to do that many times. But whatever twists and turns you take in duality, your I am presence just tunes into it for a while, experiences it, then withdraws, processes it, and expands its sense of self. Now you may say, how can the I am presence expand its sense of self from a dualistic experience? But it does, because it's not identified with it. Sometimes the I am presence may process and experience and simply realize, oh, I am not this. I don't want to be this. I don't want to have this experience. But that still expands its sense of self. You see, what have we said as a co-creator? You're allowed to create any experience you want for as long as you want until you decide, and your decision is, do I want more of this or more than this? And so the I am present says, do I want more of this dualistic experience? Nay, I want more than this. But this helps the presence expand its sense of self because it realizes, oh, I'm not a dualistic being. I really don't want duality. And this is part of what it means to be an embodiment in an unascended sphere in general, especially on an unnatural planet. You're actually on an unnatural planet. You can say that on a natural planet, you are focused on discovering what you want to be. On an unnatural planet, you are focused on discovering what you don't want to be. At least that is how it is at the level of the presence. And so part of growing as an individual being, which is what the I am presence is to discover and decide, I don't want to be this kind of being. I don't want to be a separate being. I want to be a connected being, connected with the entire hierarchy leading up to the Creator. But in order to come to that voluntary free will determination, the I am presence has to experience somewhat what it is like to be separate. It has to get a feel for what separation is. So why am I bringing all of this long explanation into an exercise on freeing yourself from emotions? Because at the level of the conscious you, when you are inside the three higher bodies, you think that once you have taken on a role, you can't just leave it until the problem is solved or you have compensated for the wrong that you did. But at the level of the I am presence, the moment the I am presence determines, I have had enough of that experience. This is not the kind of being I want to be. At that moment, the I am presence can withdraw from the experience. And what have I said? The projection that you can't leave does not come from the I am presence. But you do come from the I am presence. So the projection that you cannot leave has no more power over the conscious you than it has over the I am presence. So when you attune to the I am presence, the conscious you can sense, when it tunes in to the role you're currently playing, the emotions you have, the thoughts, the identity, when you tune into the presence, you can sense, has the presence had enough of that experience? And if the presence hasn't had enough, then the conscious you can't leave the experience. You might say that you tune into your presence and ask, have you had enough of being in a physical body on earth? And if the I am presence says, no, I want to experience more, well, then the conscious you can't just decide, I want to leave. But if the I am presence has decided, yes, I have had enough of this, then the conscious you is free to leave. If it wants to, because you also have free will at the level of the conscious you. You have the right to decide, I want to have more of a certain experience on earth, even if my I am presence is done with it. But what if you do not want to have more of playing a certain role, and your I am presence doesn't want either? well, then you can look at that projection coming to you from the fallen beings, the collective consciousness, or other people, that you can't just walk away from the role, and you can say, this means nothing to me. I can walk away from the role, and I will. For I will to be more than this role. See? What the fallen beings want to project at you, that once you have made a choice, you have to play the role to its ultimate conclusion. You can't just leave. But this is not true. The law of free will mandates you can make any choice you can imagine, but you can undo any choice you have ever made. Whatever you are now, you have a right to be more than you were before. This is the law of free will. The fallen beings will deny it because they are not willing to be more. But the law of free will is individual. The fact that one being decides not to be more doesn't mean that you have to make the same choice, for you are an individual being. Now, this, of course, poses a challenge, because the conscious you can put itself, without realizing it, into a catch-22. And the fallen beings are experts in creating innumerable of these. But one of them is, and it is especially something that avatars can get themselves into, is that you are not here just for your own sake. You are here to help other people. And therefore, you can't leave until other people have been helped, however you see this. But you can. Thinking you cannot is because you are playing a certain role. Now, you may think back to all the teachings we have given. Manifestation of Saint Germain's golden age as an avatar coming to hold the balance for the earth, help the earth rise and become a natural planet again. And you may think that this has some ultimate reality. You may think that there is some ultimate reality to what is happening on Earth and the prospect of Earth becoming a natural planet. But what have we also said about the Earth? It's a reality simulator. Anything that happens in the reality simulator has only one purpose. It is to give those inside the simulator a certain experience until they've had enough of it. What does it mean? It means any experience you can have on Earth is just an experience. And whatever teachings we have given you have the purpose of taking the conscious you to the point where it can accept that anything, any role you can play on Earth is just a role, it's just an experience, which means that you can make a free choice. Do I want to continue to have that experience? Then you continue to have it. But if you have had enough of the experience, you can walk away from the role, no matter what is happening or not happening on earth. It doesn't mean we are lying to you. It doesn't mean we are creating some imaginary state. There is a planet. We do want to raise it to a natural state. But even a natural planet is a reality simulator that only has the purpose of helping beings in embodiment expand their sense of self until they can ascend. Nothing in an unascended sphere is ultimately real. It's all something that is being outplayed for the purpose of helping individual beings grow in awareness. Which means, no matter what has happened or not happened, the moment you decide you have had enough of playing the roles that can be played on earth, you have a right to leave. And therefore you have a right as the conscious you to tune into your presence and just ask it, have you had enough? Are you ready to leave earth behind? And if you sense that the answer is yes, then as the conscious you can turn around, look at yours and say, have I had enough? Am I ready to leave the earth behind? And if you decide that you are, then regardless of outer conditions, you have the right to leave. You may decide not to leave, but you have the right to. Because nothing here has any hold on you in reality, only in your mind. And from the perspective of your I am presence, this is obvious. The I am presence sees this, knows this. So you can determine whether you want to move towards being in alignment with your presence. And when you tune into the presence and ask the presence what it feels about what is going on in your emotional body, you can gain that perspective. And it may seem like I have gone way beyond this feeling that you first tuned into. But this feeling is part of the role you're currently playing. And in order to really be free of the feeling, you have to come to see that the feeling is just part of the role. It has no objective reality. And therefore, you can let it go. You can rise above it. You don't have to solve anything. Yes, you need to invoke a certain amount of spiritual light to transform the energies back into a higher vibration so they can float upwards, so they can flow upwards. But there's nothing on earth you have to do or solve. There's nothing even in your own mind you have to do or solve, other than letting the self go, letting it die. It is not a matter of building this sophisticated spiritual self. No matter how sophisticated it is, it will not take you into the ascended realm. The only thing that can take you to the ascended realm is that the conscious you returns to its state of being pure awareness that is not defined by anything in your identity, mental and emotional and physical bodies. Then you can just allow the conscious you to follow its natural tendency to float up into oneness with the presence. So this is, in a sense, for some, a strange mixture of looking at a specific emotion and then this vast cosmic perspective. But it will only seem strange to the roles on earth if you are inside the role. But the conscious you doesn't have to be inside the role. The conscious you is able to step outside and attune to the presence. It doesn't matter what selves you have, what feelings you have, how bad you might feel. You can step outside of it and gain a broader perspective that suddenly makes you see. You can step away. You can let it go. No conditions need to be fulfilled before you can let go. It's in trying to fulfill conditions that you hold on. It's in letting go of the need to fulfill conditions that you are free. So now, as the last part of this, I want you to again take your notepad, pen, and now you are going to, when I count down, spontaneously, without analyzing, write. What condition do you have right now that you think you can't, that you need to fulfill before you can let go? What prevents you from just letting go? This is what I want you to write quickly, spontaneously, when I count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, write. So you can stop writing. You can always go back later and get more clarity and detail. And so this fulfills what I wanted to achieve for now. I hope that you can use this exercise and you can actually create a shorter version of it that only contains the exercise, not the teachings. But I hope you can use this exercise to tune in to the perspective of your I am presence. Because ultimately, even we of the Ascended Masters can only give you teachings from outside yourself. But your I am presence is not outside yourself. It is yourself. You are the presence. The presence is you. So when you tune in as the conscious you to the perspective of the I am presence, the way you look at your life on earth will shift in a way that nothing else can make it shift. Nothing I could give you as the Ascended Master is more valuable to you than tuning into the perspective of your I am presence. So I hope you can come to experience this, even if you didn't experience it now. You can in the future by using this exercise, the other exercises we are giving. Come to really be there, out there in cosmic space, looking back at Earth, seeing how tiny and insignificant anything that happens on Earth really is from that cosmic perspective. And so you can put things in proportion and overcome what we talked about in Kazakhstan, this focus on self. Focus on the separate self, because you experience it to the presence. The separate self is not important at all. And so the separate self is not out of the presence, but you are out of the presence. So if the separate self is not important to the present, why should it be important to you? And if it isn't important to you, can you not let it go anytime you want? So with this, I seal you in the love of my mother's heart. As carrying the mother flame, I would like you to take what I'm saying and shift. But I realize that I, even though I hold this position of the Cosmic Mother, cannot make you do this. Only the presence can. So be sealed in my love.